Sal.
We are not in a regular living room location for those watching on YouTube.
Yes, we are in Rockaway Beach, Oregon, on a sunny, chilly day.
Yeah.
But it's very nice being here, and we wanted to record for you.
We will definitely talk about Rockaway Beach, Oregon at some point, but not this time around. This time around, we're going to talk about Jordan. We visited Jordan, and, well, first of all, we should talk a little bit about getting there.
Yes, I made a mistake. Surprise, I know. We flew into Istanbul, and we're going to spend a few days in Istanbul before going over to, get over jet lag, that type of thing. And that was a mistake. Not with Istanbul, but with flights. So flying into Jordan is...
It's not complicated.
It's not complicated, but if you fly Jordan Air, Jordanian Air, I don't know exactly the name of it, but the country's airline, you can fly in there anytime you want at $500.
Yeah, it was much more expensive.
Yeah, it was like even maybe close to $6, I don't remember. So that definitely is an expensive way to go, particularly when you're in Istanbul, which is pretty close. So if I should have flown from the U.S. straight to Jordan and eliminated that, and we wouldn't have to arrive, because if you fly the other cheaper airlines, which is a couple hundred, you arrive at 2 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
So, and you are really at the airport, and the bus doesn't leave to Petra till 6 a.m., or the bus station doesn't open till 6, and it doesn't leave till 7. Something like that. So you have 4 hours of, and it's the middle of the night. You're tired. It wasn't an ideal way to do it.
Right.
So I would have flown in and just stayed in Amman for a couple days.
Sure.
There's a lot to see in Amman. We didn't spend enough time there. We saw Jerash, and we'll talk about that at another point. That definitely worth seeing. But there's a lot of stuff in Amman that we just didn't get to.
Yeah.
So, but Petra was the reason we went to Jordan.
Right, and I think when we were at the airport, our hope was that we could take the bus to the bus station and hang out there and wait for the 6 a.m. bus to get to Petra. The thing is, it's not really a bus station like you imagine when you think of like a Greyhound station or something of that nature. It's just kind of a parking lot. It had a kiosk, I believe.
Yeah, it was open air. So, and the truth, we ran into a taxi driver, and he basically said, don't go down to the bus station now, wait in the airport. Or I can give you a ride to Petra.
Right, and it's a long way, 3 hours or something.
Yes, it is. And I thought, okay, that gives us an extra day in Petra, so which we didn't need, but I didn't know at the time. I wanted to see Petra.
Right, so it is really kind of a once in a lifetime.
Yeah. Well, you could go again for sure. I don't know that it would be as spectacular. Anytime you see a site for the first time, it's just like, wow. And Petra is a wow site. I mean, definitely top 10 on anybody's list. It's spectacular.
The 3-hour taxi ride was $170, I think. Is that right?
140 probably.
Maybe 170 with a tip or something.
Yeah.
It was very spendy. Overall, Jordan is very expensive.
Yes, we did hit sticker shock. You're coming out of Turkey, that is, very reasonable, and you're hitting the dinar. Is that it?
I can't remember.
I think it's called. I think it's the dinar, and Jordan is
at the time
1 to 150. No, 1 to 1.5. So $10. And a Jordanian dollar is $15 US, so It's tough. You're used to operating in the other direction, and this went that way. So we definitely got off. We had some expensive excursions.
Yeah.
This taxi drive was run. No, it was nice to get in a taxi and head straight there.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that.
The road to Petra goes through the desert, and it's really desolate. There's like towns every, I don't know, 20 or 30 miles maybe, or 10 miles, I don't know. And there was speed bumps.
Oh yeah.
every time you come towards a town, there would be a big speed bump, and this driver was really hitting those speed bumps hard because I don't think he was seeing them every time.
Maybe. Well,
Kind of
yeah, some of them.
blind.
I mean, it was black. Usually there's stripes painted on them, but I guess after 10 years, the stripes are gone. And
Sure, because it's sandy. It's the desert.
yeah. So yeah, it was. Yeah, it's desolate, so there's no reason to necessarily want to do it during the daytime.
Uh-huh.
But certainly, I don't know. I wouldn't spend the kind of money on a taxi again. We took the bus back.
Right, we took the bus back.
Yeah, and it was just fine. I mean, they're very comfortable. Buses typically are comfortable. I mean, anywhere.
Most of the time,
Yeah.
they're pretty comfortable. We ended up arriving in the town of Petra at about 6 in the morning, and we
Right.
slept until 3.
Yes.
We
So,
trotted out to get coffee. It was amazing. These little boys were just fascinated with Brad. They were
yes.
really fun. They definitely were excited that we were there, and they were very friendly.
That was fun. It was. I don't know if we made a mistake. We stayed on a hotel probably 2 miles from the entrance, and it was up on the hill. There wasn't really a view. No reason to stay on the hill, and we were able to get rides to and from the entrance. But you were a ways from any restaurants. But we would have breakfast there in the morning. They'd give us a ride down. We'd spend the day at Petra, and we'd come out and we'd eat at a restaurant, and then the restaurateur would call and get us
The
our
hotel,
ride.
yeah.
The hotel, yeah. So it worked out. I would have rather stayed down in town. I'm sure I've said this before. Stay downtown, even if you're spending a little more money, because that's where the restaurants are. That's where most of the people are. That's where you're going to walk around. Not that we did a whole lot of walking after in Petra. I mean, there's significant hikes there.
Yeah. So it was $70 or $80 for a 3-day. How much did we pay for the 3-day pass?
I think it was $90 for a 3-day pass.
We could have done it for 2 days, but the 3-day pass was just barely slightly more than a single day or a 2 day.
I'm not even sure they had a 2-day. I don't remember that. I remember the 1 day was 60 and the 3 days was 90. So why would you do 1 day?
Right. We knew we would probably go back a second day because
And-
that's typical for
Yeah.
what we would do
Yeah.
normally.
You can definitely spend 2 days in Petra. Don't go there and think, oh, I'm going to spend a day there. It's 4 miles across to the monastery. I'm not going to go into it here because we're going to talk about the actual site itself. We're trying to explain getting there because it can be really easy. No reason it shouldn't be really easy.
Yeah. So it does seem like this is going a little long. We're just talking about ground transportation. Let's talk a little bit about getting that bus back to Amman, and then we'll do a second podcast or
Yeah.
videotaping about the Petra itself.
So we got a ride down to town, and then we had lunch, and then we walked over to the bus station.
The
So-
taxi stand, really.
Yeah. Well, the taxi guy says, wait here for the bus. So there were 3 of us waiting. And so I got up and, kind of stretched my legs and, walked 30 feet up the street, and the bus was loading in another parking lot.
Yeah.
So
we would have
he
missed
wanted
it.
us to miss the bus so he can charge us a couple $100 to get us back to Amman.
Yeah.
It was one of the few times we've had someone do something like that. It's
Yeah.
just really rare. But you do have to be a little aware. When economies are hurting, people will do things that they shouldn't. So anyway, I ran back down. The bus is loading, so we got on the bus and got it back. So just make sure you're in the big parking lot.
We were really lucky too because a lot of people made bus reservations. We got like the last 2 or 3 seats.
Yeah.
And be aware, there's not 100 buses. There's 2 buses every day, right?
I believe that's true, yeah.
And just try to be aware of this. Unless you can afford to take a taxi,
Right.
which is
Yeah,
fun.
if
It's
you
always
want it.
nice to take a taxi.
Yeah. It was, it worked out. And later on we kind of ascertained that he wasn't an official taxi. So that's another thing to be aware of.
Sometimes they're not official taxis.
Right.
That happens a lot of places.
Yeah, but in Jordan, I think you should probably get an official taxi if you can. He asked me to sit in the front seat, and it didn't click at the time. And then, an hour into the drive, we're in the middle of the desert. Hey, if we get pulled over, remember you're my friends. And it's like,
that was very scary, because
like,
who was going to lie to the police in a foreign country? That would be so crazy.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie to the police. Sorry. And everything went fine, but he brought up, so do you believe in God? And and then it's I just keep it really light and
yeah, of course,
be
respectful and try to.
I don't think he meant anything bad by it. I think he just wanted conversation.
Yeah, because it was a long ride.
Yeah, 3 hours. So. And except for a couple of awkward moments, the conversation was just fine.
Yes, he was very sweet. He had family and everything. He helped us get our hotel room. Not everybody speaks English everywhere you go, so he was able to help us communicate.
Yeah.
And that was great. So, well, thank you, Brad. This is a good start.
Yes, good start.
Petra's a very exciting place, and I'm excited to talk about the site itself.
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks, Brad.
Thanks, Al.